this is the cadet John Kimson. For today's video, we're gonna make another Eplan, which is the NAV213 Eplan 3C. So, we have here the exercise title, the actual depth of the shallow water or underwater obstruction during passage. Let's start. So, we have here the scenario's description. After the course lines have been laid on the charts, one of the track will pass an underwater obstruction with a minimum distance, and for safe passage, the officer needs to determine the ETA during passage of the underwater obstruction and the actual depth as well as the underkey clearance. So, the first thing to do is to identify the distance of this whole chart, and we have here our table, which is the Eplan 3C voyage. So from Tacloban PS, Tacloban Point in here to Kabugay Bay, which is here. So the total distance from Tacloban to Kabugay Bay is 141.3 nautical miles. So since we are looking for the distance of the Diamante rock, which is right here. So Diamante rock is 74.4 nautical miles. So we need to use our scientific calculator. So in determining the time of passage to the nearest underwater obstruction, we have here the Diamante rock. We have here a formula: time is equals to distance over speed. So since we get our distance 67 and the speed is 10 knots, so 67 over 10, we have here 6.7. so 6 hours 7 times 60 equivalent of 42 minutes. So we have here our departure is 6 hours and 42 minutes plus 2 hours, so the ETA is equals to 8 hours and 42 minutes. So next is we have our Virac bank. So same procedure to the Diamante rock. We have to use our scientific calculator. We have here 141.3 nautical miles minus the Virac bank 3.9. So we will get 137.4 or 137 miles. So in getting the time of our Virac bank, we have the same formula: time equals to distance over speed. We have here the speed of 10 knots. 137 miles over 10 knots is equivalent to 13.7 hours or 13 hours and 42 minutes. So the next thing to determine is the height of the tide during passage to the nearest water obstruction. So the first is the Diamante rock. Since it is 8 hours and 42 minutes, so our height of the tide is 0.1 meters. Next is the Virac bank. Since it is our ETA is 15 hours and 42 minutes, so the height of the tide is 0.1 meters. And lastly is to determine the actual depth of the water during the passage to the nearest underwater obstruction. So the first is to determine the Diamante rock is our in this chart we have here 0.1 meters. This is the vessel, and our charted datum would be 48 meters since it is the nearest one. So we will get 48 meters. So in getting our what we call this, our UKC, our observed depth would be 48.1, and in getting our UKC is simply subtract our charted datum, which is 48 meters, and observed drop of 48.1 minus the drop of 10 meters is equivalent to 38.1. That's why we get our that's why our under keel clearance is 38.1. The next thing is we have our Virak bank. In getting our what we call this is our 0.1 meters, which is the height of the tide, which is the vessel. The drop is 10 meters and the observed drop is 46.1. It's because 46 is the nearest, so what you can see, 46 here in our charter datum is 46, so it is 46.1. Getting our under keel clearance, just simply subtract 46.1 minus our drop, which is 10 meters, which is equivalent to 36.1. I guess that's all for today's video. Thank you.